Hello my beautiful people, you are welcome back to today's tutorial. How you guys doing? I love you friends for your support, and please, if you are new to this channel, click on the subscribe button there, and also please turn on your notification bell so that each time I upload a new video you will get notified. So now today's class I will show you guys how to draft a Victoria corset with a yoke. This is for beginners. So you can see the required measurement there: bust, under bust, waist, full length, hip line, post bust span. So let's quickly place our shoulder measurement. Is 16 and is into fold already, placing 8 inches. Come down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. So place our armhole depth, your shoulder divided by 2, which is 8. So we'll place our shoulder to the nipple and shoulder to under bust, which is 14 inches, and the waistline, which is 17 inches. The full length is 24 inches, but we need our hip line to have that back shape. Okay, so we'll connect it to the shoulder to create our chest line with our armhole. So this is the bust point. Excuse me. Under bust. And know this video will be having part 2 of it. I've seen the thumbnail there. Part 2, we'll be making use of this paper, we'll transfer it, add our stay, facing our stitch. So this is for beginners, just watch the end of the video. So this is the bust point, just to indicate it for a better understanding. This is our half length, we call it your waistline, the full length and the hip line. I've said that before. So we have to create our armhole curve. The midpoint, which is 4, we go in by 0.5 inch. We connect it to create our armhole. So this is it. The neck width 3 inches, neck depth 4 inches. The neckline is optional. We decide to go deeper than this. Connect it this way. So we want to place our bust measurement. First, we are going to create our bust span, and note we will not be adding any same allowance here. We will do that while transferring to our fabric. So we connect our bust span, that is nipple to nipple. So when we are done, we have to place our bust radius, that is the distance from our bust point to under bust, so that our bust will not be exposed. So we extend our dart line. So now this is our new chest line. So the neck depth is optional. Mine will be working with 9 inches just to connect it. Sweetheart neck, just connect it this way. Armhole side, come down by 0.5 inch. This is for a guide to know your upper chest, the easiest way. This also works for a plus size. Okay, this is our yoke. So we are now to create our dart. Will come down 0.5 inch from our bust point, so I will have a space for the bust. If it's a plus size, 1 inch. So the waist dart will be working with 2 inches on both sides. So for the hip line and the full length is 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch. So for the upper chest, 1 inch, but towards the armhole, if you have been following me, I do add 0.5 inch towards the armhole. So by the time you finish stitching, everything will sit properly. You have that your straight dart, that is your bust span. So connect it this way. So this bust radius also work for plus size. I've said that before. Just find the distance from the bust point to the under bust to know your bust radius. This is the easiest way. So connect it this way. And note we'll be subtracting 2 inches from under bust and waistline measurement. So to make it snatch, okay. So I had to mark it out that line. So just blend it properly. That is just it. So one thing about this Victoria corset, they have multiple darts. Okay, it's really beautiful. So this is for beginners. This is just 6 darts. By the time you open it up, you could decide to do it more than that, but add your dart replacement when you are done. So we'll be subtracting 2 inches now. Is from our waist and under bust measurement. I've said that before. So the bust measurement we are working with is 42 inches into 4 parts. We're having 10.5 inches. Note we subtracted 2.5 inches. That is that allowance there. We have to replace it. So the waistline is 37 minus 2 divided by 4. So we'll be having 8.7 inches. Okay, approximately 9 inches to have that under bust tightening, because we subtracted 2 inches. Okay, so it's just to make it snatchy. That is just essence of that 2 inches subtraction. So we'll place the 9 inches, which is our waist measurement. So I will add the 2 inches dart replacement. And note I'll be creating another dart, okay, which will be using total of 2.5 inches. So we'll place it now because we are making a Victoria corset. So I will place the dart replacement, okay, and the 2.5 inches because I'll be creating another dart. So this is it. So we'll move over to our hip line. For the hip line, we only divide our hip measurement, which is 46, into 4 parts. Okay, and add only 1 inch of the dart replacement because we use ½ inch on each piece. So that is it. So we connect it now. So it's just the under bust and the hip, that is the waistline, which is our half length, that we subtracted 2 inches for our measurement. So connect it this way. So you know I made mention of 2.5 inches for the extra dart. You could start to work with 2 inch. Okay, so that is it. So now it's time to create the next dart line. So I will, under bust measurement, I will place my tape to find the midpoint. It's 8 inches into 2 parts is 4 inches. So I will mark it now. To take my straight ruler to connect it to the full length. That is the hip line. Okay, so connect it this way. So by the time we open it up, we'll be having 6 pieces. That is 6 parts. So we want to create our dart. Note we added 2 inches. So 1 inch on each piece, but just the under bust and the waistline. The hip line, we won't subtract any, but we didn't add. Okay, so this is it. We'll connect it this way to our armhole, this way. So that is just that 2 inches we added. So this is our second dart to indicate it. Connect it properly. So the next thing to do is to create our dart or the center of our front panel. So we'll come to our waistline. That is our half length. We'll go in by 0.5 inch. So if we connect it from the center of our neck depth to meet the waistline and to the full length. So I'm not making use of that 0.5 inch because I still want to go in more under my bust, okay? So I'm going to number it now so that while transferring to our fabric, we won't run into problems. So we want to create our back shape, that's our V shape. So here is optional. Mine will be going down with just 4 inches. You could decide to go down with 5 inches. So I will just connect it this way. Try to use free hand. So this down part is optional. So this is it. Connect it properly. Try to make it curvy, like what you have here, like the dots line. I'm working with this first one. So cut it out. Don't forget to number it. So this is how it should look like when we are done cutting it out. So let's put it aside. So this is our back panel. So guys, what we have on our table is our pattern paper. We all know that. So we have to quickly place our zipper allowance 2 inches. This is for those that will make use of zipper. So for those that make use of lacing, I will also explain that I will make use of lacing. So let's connect it now, the zipper allowance. This zipper allowance of 2 inches. This is the full length. Connect it. So the shoulder is 16.228 inches. Come down by 1 inch. So the back panel will be only needing our waistline and our full length, also our hip line. So if you are a bit confused, introduce the front panel, okay? So from the full length to the hip line is 2 inches interval. So let me put the front panel aside. So I will just connect it now. This is the full length, okay? The first line is the hip line. So the next now is to connect our shoulder, the armhole depth, okay? So we have to create our armhole now. Looking for my curve ruler, couldn't find the first one. So this is the back armhole. You don't go in. Connect the waistline. So the back panel is just the shoulder to the waist and the full length. So the back neck depth, I've also marked it. So the back neckline, you can see I've connected, which is our chest line, to our zipper allowance if those are working with zipper. So this is our back yoke. So it's time to create our back neck depth. We'll go in with 1 inch or 1.5 inches or 2 inches So it's optional, depend how deep you want your back neck depth to be. So I want to quickly now connect my back neck depth. You can see. Cut it out. If you want it straight with that's the chest line, you just cut it this way. This is how your back should look like. But mine, I went in by 1 inch. So I won't be working with the first one. So I'll cut it this way. But I have to blend because I'm making use of the yoke. So I'll cut it out this way. To meet the armhole, cut the shoulder to also meet the armhole this way. So our back yoke is ready. See, so cut it out this way. So we are done with the armhole. Now we have to label them for a better understanding. The upper chest, the waistline, which is our half cut, the full length, and our hip line also. So for the waistline, we'll go in 0.5 inch to make it snatchy. For those that are making use of zipper, okay, so that your zipper will not bulge out. So we have to place our bust measurement into 4 parts. It's 10.5 inches. Okay, so we'll only be adding that replacement just on the waist area. So the waist measurement is 9 inches, and note to be creating 2 more darts, okay, which is 1 inch on each dart, because we'll be using 1 inch on each dart, making it 2 inches because it's back. We don't need much dart allowance. So for the hip line, we'll just place our hip measurement because we'll not be creating any dart. They will just mark it straight. So we connect this way. So we have to cut out the unwanted parts. It's time to place our dart. So we are going to place our bust measurement now. So you start from the end of your zipper allowance. Okay, so we'll divide it by 3, having 3 parts. So we'll be having 3.7 inches. I want to keep blending properly. So 3.7 inches, 3.7 inches. I'll be creating 2 lines darts. Okay, so this is it. We'll connect it straight to the full length. Straight to the full length. Just want to be sure. Please ignore my table. It's obstructing me. So this is it. Note we only added 2 inches on the waistline. So it's time to place our waist dart 0.5 inch on each piece. 0.5 inch. So the 2 inches we added on the waistline, we have subtracted it now. So we connect it straight to the full length, which is our hip line. Okay, you can see why we didn't add any dart allowance there, because it's just straight. Just connect it straight, because this is back. Back is not busty. Okay, so this is it. So we are done with the waist dart. So the next thing is to introduce our front panel. Though for the 2 side, our length for the side, that's our back shape, we came down just 4 inches. But if you are confused, just introduce your front panel like what I'm doing here, guys, to just to cross check. Okay, note the back is only shoulder, that's upper chest, the waist and the hip. So I came down just 4 inches. So I will connect it. Though the back line is optional, so you could try to make your back shape or curvy or straight, so it's optional. Mine, I'll make it a bit curvy. So you can see I've placed my paper this way for a better view to the full length. So in my back panel, I'm working with the full length. But for the front panel, because it's a back shape, that is a V shape, I work with my hip length. So if you could decide to work with V shape, both your back and front panels is optional. But mine, I'm working with my full length for the back line, which is 22 inches length. So cut it this way. So just place it this way to have a better view, okay? So that is just it. So let's put all this aside because we are done with the front panel for now. So it's time to cut out our darts. So, excuse me, we have to kind of number it now for easy sewing because we'll be making use of this pattern paper part 2. So you can see the waistline for those that make use of zipper. So I'll make use of lacing. So for the waistline now, because I'll make use of lacing, I will go in more. So I'll be placing 1.5 inches on my waistline, but the upper chest 1 inch, the down part 1 inch. So I want my back to be exposed. So this is it. This is for those that are not making use of zipper. But if you are making use of zipper, the first one is for you. But if you are not making use of zipper, making use of lacing, so you connect it, just go in by 1.5 inches on your waistline. Depending how deep you want yours to be. So mine went in 1.5 inches on the waistline, upper chest 1 inch, the down part, that the full length 1 inch. So this is how you cut your own if you are making use of zipper. So this is how it should look like for those that make use of zipper. But for those that make use of lacing, this is how it should look like. Okay, so we have to now cut out our darts. So note, we didn't add any seam allowance here. I've said that earlier. So we'll do that while transferring to our fabric, which is our part 2 of this tutorial. We'll add 0.5 inch round. Okay, so this is it. So let's quickly now label the second part. So let's arrange it so you can see how beautiful it is. So guys, it's very simple, guys. See? So this is how it should look like if you're not making use of a zipper. But you're making use of zipper, this is how you have a 4-piece, which is this. See? And this is the yoke. Let me adjust it. If you are not making use of zipper, okay? Put it aside. So it's very simple, guys. Please, if you find this video interesting, like, share my videos. So for the front panel, see how curvy it is. Let me adjust it for a better view. See? So the front panel has that V shape, that back shape. See? Just my camera. See what we have. So this is how it should look like when you are done cutting it out. So guys, if you find this video interesting, click on the like button there. Share this video. Share my videos. Please, okay? So this is all for now. So while transferring to our fabric for the part 2, I've said that before, we're adding 0.5-inch round, both the front and back panel. So I love you all. I remain Chi Living Signature. Bye for now.